Namaste guys, ChristianRLong, Inner Transformation Group, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Wednesday afternoon here in Honolulu, Hawaii. And I wanted to jump on and share an idea I had for a new Facebook, YouTube series about uplifting others. And I call it Edification. So where is the birthplace of this idea, and how can you benefit from it? How can you participate in it? It's kind of interesting. Many years ago, over 20 years ago, as part of a network marketing company, some of you may know it as Quickstar, others of you may know it as Amway, and I was very much involved in that for about 5 years. And I traveled all over the country. I did presentations all over the country to dozens and dozens of people. I got lots of experience with sales, lots of experience with persuasion, public speaking, dealing with rejection, dealing with frustrated team members, harmonizing conflicting factors. And it was an invaluable life experience for me. And one of the things that I constantly saw within the organization that I was part of on the micro scale and the organization on a macro scale was something called edification. And they define edification as simply speaking highly of another person. And another, the dictionary definition of edification is to improve or develop another person morally and or intellectually. To improve or develop another person morally or intellectually, which would imply that the person doing the improving has some level of development and maybe a leg to stand on morally and or intellectually, right? You can't share with another person what you don't have. Like, if you're not a very intelligent person, you can't help other people become intelligent. If you're morally bankrupted, you can't really, uplift another person morally. Does that make sense? And so I was thinking about the reason that this whole idea came to my mind of doing a series on it, an edification series, is this past 9-day spiritual vacation that I did about 3 weeks ago in Bovina, New York with the Pranic Healing and Hatha Yoga community. Is I was sharing during a meditation, so we had this very powerful meditation called, I'm trying to remember the name of it, Secrets of the Heart meditation, which is a meditation I've had the opportunity and the blessings of participating in over the past decade at least. And it's led by one of the master pranic healers. Most of the time it's led in person, but there are occasional times that it's led online, which is always a great opportunity. And in that meditation, you go very deep within the heart, right? So the heart chakra contains a lot of secrets, a lot of wisdom, a lot of a healing ability. It's even connected to clairvoyance or seeing the energy world. And so the more you can activate your heart, the more inner peace you have, the more stillness you have, the more bliss you have. And the heart chakra deals with love of others, love of those closest to us, our friends, our family members, right? The people we interact with on a day-to-day basis. That's a function of the heart when we give to them, when we serve them. And how can we give and serve to others? We can do it through spiritually blessing them, like we do in the Twin Hearts meditation. We can do it through healing them. We can do it by having loving and kind thoughts about that person. We can do it by having loving and kind speech about that person. We can do it by having loving and kind acts towards that person, helping them run errands or do things, doing their laundry, doing their grocery shopping, helping them run errands around town. We can do it by financially providing for them, right? Giving them financial assistance or support. So there's many different ways of loving those closest to us and activating our hearts. So at this meditation, the Secrets to the Heart meditation, I experienced this deep pain as my heart was expanding. And I go, wait a minute, this hasn't happened since 2019, 3 years. I had a similar experience practicing meditation and my heart was expanding, and then, a feeling of pain, a feeling of suffering, a feeling of sharpness. I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, if you expand your heart, you should feel more love, you should feel more joy, you should feel more, I I can breathe, I can expand, but that wasn't the case. As my heart expanded in 2019 in a meditation, and my heart expanded in 2022 in a meditation, there was nothing but pain. Lots and lots of pain. So at the end of the meditation, I had the opportunity of pulling one of the master pranic healers off to the side, namaste, and had the experience of asking the question, it happened again. It happened again. As my heart was expanding, I felt more pain. And she goes, she's looking. She goes, okay. Sweep the energy, clean the heart, right? Clean the energetic heart, remove the negative emotions, the trauma, the pain, the calcified energies around the heart, and then the heart can continue to expand without pain, continue to expand and feeling good, right? And I said, what else can I do? And she says, be more loving. And I go, really? That's the advice? That's the magic technique, be more loving? And then I'm like, okay, that is the answer, to be more loving. And to express that love, right? As one of my mentors said many, many years ago, love is always a verb. Love is always an action, right? You can't say you're loving to somebody without doing something, right? I love you, but I don't do anything for you, right? I don't heal you, I don't bless you, I don't teach you things, I don't morally uplift you, I don't intellectually uplift you, I don't give you words of encouragement or kindness, I don't provide for you financially, I don't provide for you in helping you with errands of progressing your life forward. So love is always an action word. Rain, sleet, or shine, it's always an action word, right? So if you're not taking action, you're not developing the muscle of love. And so I was like, this is going to be a bit tricky, because as my heart expands, what is it experiencing? Pain. Because as the heart expands, the capacity to love is greater, but in the expansion, old hurt, old pain, old trauma is becoming, how should I say, extracted out of the heart to be dealt with, so you can go to the next level of love, the next level of mercy, the next level of compassion, the next level of sweetness, the next level of tenderness and joy, right? But it's not always warm and fuzzy. But isn't it funny that I've been doing heart-centered work for at least 18 years with pranic healing and Arhatic yoga? I've done the Twin Hearts meditation, which is designed to activate the heart and activate the crown. I've had the opportunity of practicing that meditation over 6,000 times over the course of my life over the past 18 years. And I'm realizing I still have so much more work to do about expanding my heart. Because I hear many friends, disciples, people on the spiritual path that absolutely and utterly love giving. They love expanding their heart. They love showing up for their friends and their family members. They love it. They can't get enough of it. And I'm like, man, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could be there. I wish I could give and not have so much pain and hurt attached to that giving. So this is the materialization and manifestation of the Edification series of uplifting others. Because I realized in my mind, I'm always thinking good thoughts towards other people. Even if I don't necessarily like them, I'm still thinking of good thoughts of, I want them to improve, I want them to be successful, I want them to be prosperous, I want them to heal of that condition, heal of that pain, heal of that trauma. I want their blind spots to be eliminated, and they have illumination and they see things clearly. That's really, really important to me. So mentally, I'm always uplifting. Mentally, I'm always edifying another person or persons. But I realize from the feedback I've gotten from past relationships and past friends or current friends that I don't use my ninja power of the spoken word to edify and compliment other people verbally, right? I don't edify and compliment and uplift other people verbally. And it was actually funny, this past week I was talking to a client and we were talking about the three aspects of the soul: light, love, and power, right? Those are the three aspects of every single being on the planet: light, love, and power. And I asked her the question, I said, you and I have been working with each other for years, and you know the 3 aspects of the soul. Where do you think I'm strong in? Right? Just to get unbiased feedback, or hopefully unbiased feedback. And without skipping a beat, she goes, oh, you're easily light and power. And I said, say that again. She goes, you're easily light, which is intelligence, and power, or will to make something happen. And I said, I said, what about the love aspect? Do you see love coming from me? Do you feel love coming from me? She goes, well, you're not much of a warm and fuzzy kind of person. That's not what you focus on. She goes, I come to you because you give it to me straight and you give me tough love, which is what I need sometimes. And I'm like, that's good feedback. So she says I have the light aspect and the power aspect, but the love aspect, not so much. So that was more feedback. As Grandmaster Chogo Koksui would say, how can we correct ourselves without a mirror? So the relationships in our lives are mirrors. Mirrors of our goods, our strengths, right? The things that are our ninja powers. And relationships are also mirrors for our weaknesses, our negative tendencies, our blind spots, things that we're not so good at, right? And so that was a big eye-opener for me. So I said to myself, okay, I do a lot of live streams on Facebook, and then most of the time I upload them to YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel, Inner Transformation Group. We have over 600 videos on energy healing, meditation, and practical spirituality from years ago up until recently. So go subscribe to the channel, much appreciated. But I was like, well, wait a minute. I want to start using my ninja power of communication, and I want to uplift others, not just with my mind, not just with my thoughts, but also with my speech. And so what I'm challenging myself to do is I'm going to record, this is kind of the parameters of this challenge, is I'm going to record anywhere from a 5-minute to a 45-minute clip of me edifying somebody who's connected to me on Facebook. Whether they're a friend of mine from 10 years ago, whether they're a relationship of mine recently, whether they are a student, whether they're a co-disciple, whether there's somebody that I don't get along with very well, but I see and can express the beautiful qualities about them verbally. So I have to be able to tag them and then have a 5 to 45-minute discussion, sharing stories about them, about what I appreciate about them, what I respect about them, what I admire and love about them. Now you might be saying, well, Christian, why do you have to do this in a public forum? Why can't you just contact the person directly and share that with them? Yeah, it's a good point. But I realize in the process of edifying another person, it's all well and good to edify that person privately to themselves. But as I learned from the famous Dale Carnegie's program, How to Win Friends and Influence People, he says you always praise in public and you reprimand in private. And this is a practice in me of opening my heart and being more vulnerable and sharing more love with people. And I think it's a great platform to do that publicly, because many of us do things privately in social media. Like we always think we're being open and expressive and vulnerable, but in my opinion, that's not always the case. It's trying to represent some kind of facade or illusion or glamour of like, look at how amazing my life is, or look at how amazing things are, when most of the time that's not the case. So I want to kind of practice uplifting, edifying, loving on another person in real time, publicly for the world to see. And I'm gonna not only have this here live on Facebook, but I'm also gonna be posting these 14 plus videos onto YouTube on the Inner Transformation Group channel. So after the 14 times, I'll have enough feedback and go, whew, that was super difficult, super challenging, way harder than I thought it was going to be. Or, wow, I really like it and I really learned these things about myself and about other people, and I want to continue with this practice, right? That's why I'm calling it the Edification series. it's not just going to be 1 or 2 episodes, but at least 14 different episodes about 14 different people in my life. And I have an idea of several people I want to include in the Edification series, but I don't have every 14 people on. In my Facebook group, I think I have 4,300 people or something like that. So who knows? Wouldn't that be weird to have 4,300 different videos edifying, complimenting, uplifting, and loving on other people? Whether they're relative strangers or people who have known me for the past 20, 30 years. So I know who I'm going to be doing for my very first Edification series, which I'll be releasing shortly. And another thing that I realized, connecting to edifying others, speaking highly of others, is several years ago I was traveling through Colorado with one of my mentors. And this particular mentor has been an invaluable person in my life when it comes to healing, when it comes to business, when it comes to knowing myself better, when it comes to knowing others better, when it comes to knowing my life's purpose, when it comes to knowing the higher energies of clairvoyance and clairaudience and clairsentience. Like, I owe a tremendous amount to this person. And I remember we were going to this particular hot springs in Colorado, and there was this big line. I didn't realize it was a holiday because I'm not plugged into most things that are happening most of the time that are part of the general populace. So I had no idea it was a holiday. I was like, hey, I have some time off and it's a beautiful day. Let's go to the hot springs. Anything more complicated than that. And as we ended up going, Mark, I'm gonna say, as we ended up going to the hot springs, there was this big line of people trying to get into the parking lot. So you had to wait 15 minutes up to over an hour, depending upon, the line. And I remember sticking my head out the window and yelling something funny. It wasn't profane, it wasn't aggressive. It might have just been me yelling something like, woohoo! Like that, right? Nothing way out there. So I ended up yelling that thing, and then all of a sudden my mentor turned to me and she goes, wow. And I go, wow, what? And she goes, look at what that did to all the auras of the people that are in this parking lot that are waiting in line. Right? She asked me to look energetically, clairvoyantly at what was taking place. And I was surprised. I was really surprised. So it shocked people, it surprised people, it put them in a fight or flight response. But my intention wasn't to scare anyone, my intention wasn't to get anyone worked up, my intention was just to have like a funny moment of, here we are on a beautiful day, it's a holiday, we're all about to head to these magnificent hot springs, but there's this giant line and we don't know when, if we're going to be able to get into a parking spot. So I was just like, woohoo! And the realization of how powerful the spoken word is and how dramatically can affect the energy body of another person or persons. And guess what? What you do to someone else comes back to you many times. So if you edify somebody, you uplift them, you help them develop, you morally uplift, intellectually uplift, you transform them through your speech, that comes back to you many times. But if you use your speech to de-edify somebody, to put somebody down, to drop their self-esteem, to make them feel less than, or to make them feel unworthy, that's going to come back to you many times. So that has not been my modus operandum in my thought processes, but it has been my inability of edifying and speaking highly of other people. And so I want to improve that part of my life. So stay tuned for the next, anything? No? So stay tuned for the upcoming Edification series and find out who the first person is going to be of the 14 people. And I look forward to getting feedback from you guys. And feel free to share this video and feel free to share any of the other upcoming videos of the Edification series, because I would really love feedback from you guys, because it's life is constantly about never-ending improvement. And when you see a weakness, you want to improve that part of you, right? So experiment, get feedback, and then I'll make my own conclusion after the 14th person of the Edification series. So on that note, for those of you would like to also, as a little seed being planted, feel free to start your own edification series and tagging friends, family members, co-workers, vendors, suppliers, clients, patients on Facebook, where you edify them, where you speak highly of them, where you give them verbal love. Just a seed, just planting it, whether it fertilizes or not, it's entirely up to you and your karma. But for those of you who need healing, and we all need healing in one way, shape, or form, feel free to reach out to me at ChristianRLong.com. It's my name, it's my website. You can also go to Inner Transformation Group to see a program that we put together. But you can schedule a healing session right then and there, and I look forward to serving you there. So, thank you for watching, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing to the Inner Transformation Group YouTube channel, and I look forward to serving you guys moving forward. This is Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye.